later on that day, Dr. Dre came through with a gang of Ting Ray. Badass Jane doesn't what he teeth and made me choke. So much I had to back off of it. As it cut down, Tiger ran, you can get slow down now. So then horror TV. Horror TV. Horror TV are sexy to me. What could it be? Got you up here in these streets. Horror TV. I want, I want a specific, um, like where's that green screen at? Where's that green screen? Like why can't I get that? For any people. Oh, that's cool. That was a cartoon. Crazy look in my eyes here. I got that kind of machine. That's funny. What's that? I feel like I look like me now this way. Get the whole background. There's one peeping Tom. There's one peeping Tom. It's cold out here. It is cold out here. Oh, there's 12 peeping Toms. What am I doing? Killing time. Attempting not to say what's on my mind. Because I've got a stalker that is out here trying to, what is that word? Sabotage. Yeah, really sabotage something that I got going on. And, got to be really careful. Just in case somebody try to use my words against me. Against me and my family. You ever been in that situation? Where you're just like, you ever been in a situation where you hold the keys to somebody's freedom? Do you know how powerful that is? Like you literally, you hold the keys to somebody's life. And it's like whether you say something or not, no one's gonna use your EV. What the heck? What? Oh, see, that's what I'm talking about. That's the kind of hater right there. Nobody's gonna use my EBT card. I'm not even worried about that. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Nobody's gonna. It couldn't anyway. Every bitch traded. Right now, you're admitting guilt. If a prosecutor sees this, when they prosecute your friend, they're going to drag you down with them. What the heck? That's admitting. I'm admitting guilt. I'm guilty of anything. If anything, I know of people that are really guilty of stuff, and you know what's funny is it's like that's just it. Some things it's like life. You can hold somebody's demise in your hand, but you will say to yourself, you know, they're gonna end up screwing themselves over in the long run when it's all said and done with. Sometimes people have to just go through the trials and tribulations of life. You said you have the keys to the freedom in your hand, and that's power. That means you have knowledge of a felony. Oh, so this must probably be the crazy bitch that I'm talking about, because for I've only said some small amount of things, and all of a sudden you're saying some stuff that's kind of like you're incriminating yourself. But yeah, no, I'm far from, because I'm not even on the witness list. I'm just one of those people. If anything, you know, it's kind of like one of those, you know, if anybody deserves to get anything, they'll get their just desserts anyway. Why do I need to worry about it? Instead of me doing it, like, you just never know. An anonymous tip could just hit the prosecutor's table, and their star witness they can find out is the real actual perpetrator. Oh, look at that. Yeah, that's the funny part. I know we watch a little bit too much TV. And then you went felony. Why can't it be a misdemeanor? Why you have to say a felony? Oh my gosh. That's funny. If a prosecutor sees this, well, that would be funny. That would mean I'm being stalked right now. You and your friend both tell that. I'm not going down for anything. That's so funny. An innocent person get prosecuted by keeping your mouth shut, protecting the guilty. Well, I'm not protecting the guilty, that's for sure. I don't know. So it's one of those things where you're like, what is really the right, you know? It's one of those moments where you're just like, can't seem to figure out what is the purpose of all this. What is the purpose and the reason behind everything? not protecting that. I'm not trying to protect anybody. I don't even want to. You know that sometimes you can know something and you know, huh? Ain't this something? But you're just like, how much do I know to be true? All I know is what I have on video, well, on a recording, and then also just what's public knowledge that's in the court records in other states that anybody with any sense could just look it up themselves, and they're right there alone, you know, can be evidence. You know, it just becomes a thing about like, hey, right is right. Because sometimes, like, you might be guilty of a misdemeanor, but ego, you know, people's ego, they're like, no, I want more, because I'm mad, I'm hurt. You know, they're like, this person may leave me and not be with me anymore, so I'm gonna exaggerate the truth, make it sound like it's more than that, because my feelings are hurt. Those things, you'd be like, huh. Now, this seems like this should get blown way out of proportion. And now you got all these other little things go on. And that's the time. So now it's like, oh, we'll see. See what happens now. See if I get a phone call now. That'll be it. You got, you know, like I'm being stalked and harassed. But only a mother who's been able to protect her baby, who's had her baby all their life, and know what I mean. Especially that baby's gonna grow up. What's up, J-Mob? And you gotta come to a time in your life when it's like, hey, they have fell out the nest. What's up? Baby's out the nest now. So every time they fall, mommy can't go pick them up. Woo, it is cold out here. Ever been to a place that's really, 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 really cold? And God bless you. Yeah, God is what I really, really need to just like really take the wheel right now, you know. Be like put in a situation where it's like I don't wanna make anybody mad. I don't wanna see anybody that I care about get railroaded because somebody was all in their feelings and hurt and they worried about like I don't want to get left behind the best thing that ever happened to me, but I was mad at the time. That's the shit. You know those people that they at the time they're mad, so they end up ruining somebody's life for them and putting their life pushed against the wall. You know, anybody ever known somebody to fabricate some shit and then they get caught up in the raptor of somebody's ego, behind somebody's lies and treachery, and then everybody's trying to wiggle their way out, and then you hit in the middle. You're like, I'm not even involved in this shit. Matter of fact, I was spit on and pushed down. But now I know some truth that it's like, hey, does this make a difference? You'd be like, oh my gosh. So I sit on my hands. I call the president. Like, you just like, how do you wash your hands? You just turn your back and just act like you don't know. Trying to save face for somebody. God bless us all. Already did. Now it's up to you. You are blessed. Now you need to just acknowledge it. To receive it and to believe it. I'm blessed as much of a screw up as I am. Screw up all the time. Willingly, just screw up. Not too many admit to their own faults, do they? Just like, yeah, but I just screwed up. Especially when I'm in situations like this where I'm sad, I'm agitated, I'm confused, I don't know what to do. It's like alcoholic, I guess. Like I'm just gonna have some drinks. I'm not drinking anything away, but for right now, I can just numb it. You numb your pain, hide it. Hope to have a dream about what's the right way to fix it. And I like knowing the winning lottery numbers. I get it, like nobody's perfect. We all have our moments. I was in a situation with someone, like to this day now, it's like I can just ruin their life. They didn't ruin mine, but they did hurt me a lot. And like life has went on and I've moved past it, but there's times where I've seen them and they might still say some stuff and it's like, wow, I've never tried to hurt you, but I could. And that's what I'm saying. When you got the power in your hands, where you can really, really change some things. Where it's like, hey, I might gain an enemy, but at least, justice was served properly. I'm going to tell you, whether it's the defense or the prosecutor, nobody likes to be made a fool of. But it's people that they be just having some of the weirdest ulterior motives when it comes to, other people's lives. Especially when somebody isn't living a way that they feel they want somebody to live. It's like a very much, narcissistic, manipulative, Munchausen characters out there. Yeah. Oh my gosh. And individual that I am, you know, it's more so like, hey, motherfuckers would leave people out of their business. People wouldn't be compelled to be like, see, you brought me into this shit. You told on yourself over and over again. That's what I'm saying. Like, if people out there, they get off on getting attention. Like, oh, hey, it's gonna be okay. Oh, just whatever, this little pat on the head. People get off on that kind of stuff. Like, people, they watch me here, like, got me. I ain't gonna stop my channel if anything. I'm like, just, like, started new one. If they find me, they find me. And then even still, it's like, no, that's what it's all about. Controversy, life and shit. People on some weirdness. More and more this doggy dog world that people are about. Want to control. Want to control people. Yeah, people want to control. It's like it's some girls out there, like they get off on the fact that they got a boyfriend that'll go off on their mama behind them. Or they get off on the fact that they could go off on their boyfriend's mama. The boyfriend, male friend, husband, whatever, don't do shit. There's a lot of guys out there. There's a lot of guys out there that they will let they lady friend talk to their mama just any kind of way, and they'll know that their girl is wrong. There's a lot of girls out there that'll let a guy talk to their mama any kind of way. They know they're wrong. They do it. And they sit up there and they swap spit and I love you, whatever, when it's over with. And then within 30 days, that same person, that same mama, they want their help now. And so that's what it is, where it's like, whether the dude is being wronged or the girl is being wronged, when they have both disrespected a hand that has fed them, they both stand a chance to get themselves screwed over. And the person that was disrespected, there's nothing for them to do, because overall they was like, like I know, young little girl disrespected me, boy disrespected me, and I know that I'm grown now. Well, they gonna get theirs back. It's not even about me wishing anything bad on them. It's just that you disrespecting somebody that fed you without batting an eye. Someone who has helped you out of a rut, and you want to disrespect them, treat them like a fool, We all God's child, and you shouldn't play with God. That divine intervention, that positive God. And even if it was another kind of God, it's just, you shouldn't try to screw around and be disrespectful to people who haven't did anything to you. It's not a good look for you. You know, because sometimes it's like, here's the thing, you may have one little battle. There's lots of times any battle before the war is finally considered over. And sometimes it's like you gotta let the fool feel like they the victor. But you never lay down and play a fool for a fool. But you can let the fool think they winning for a minute. And see, that's just it. They'll start getting comfortable. Now this is just shit that I've been seeing on TV, so don't listen to me. It's a fact. You know, I'm just stating facts about things. As I watch things, like, you know, I'm watching right now a friend that's fighting for their freedom behind some old ignorant, low life, meth headed, can't keep a baby ass broad. But my friend has played the damn fool. Maybe. Just like now, I'm sure that the crazy ass broad is watching. They're gonna go run back. Gonna go violate the court order. That's what I don't get to where it's like, let's say if there's a no contact order. Now here's the one now there might be a no contact, but there's a restraining order. I don't know. But it's like who isn't supposed to be contacted, they get together. But the other can't contact them, but they can contact them, and what the thing is like, you don't not supposed to talk. So I get what it is. But you got some ignorant ass people who be thinking they can know better. My thing is though, if it's the bitch that's not supposed to be being talked to, and the bitch keeps on, then the bitch should be in trouble. And I keep cutting off before I get on to get it out there. Because I'm sure the bitch is watching me now. It's like, who does that? Somebody that's real insecure is like totally, they worried about what I'm doing. They such a liar. So it's like, I had never, like, it's shit on TV, you know, it's like, but it's real life. Obviously, that's to get the examples from real life scenarios. Real life scenarios. But I'm gonna tell you now, you low life, trifling little bitch, you ain't gotta worry about me. I done had enough ass tooted up to me, especially, like I said, I'm one of those where it's like, hey, I fed you. No questions asked. Made sure you have some life. No questions asked. I know I paid the bill that day. I know what kind of little demon you are. You're something that is like the Almighty. Hey, I wish that you receive some healing of a divine intervention. But at the same time, I see the God that you praise. You know, it has a God to look up to too. Don't think it don't. It's like evil just evil winning them little old battles of, especially when you people like boys, girls, when y'all be putting people above your parent that you were so mad at when you was younger, because as your parent, when you was younger, your parent was young too, more than likely, and and they had a boyfriend or girlfriend that to you they liked them more, or you had a parent that didn't know how to discipline or didn't know how to love you right, whatever, all these things when you got older. But then that's just it, you got older. You started having relations and you started having fun. But it's only when life ain't right, then now all of a sudden y'all hate that parent when life ain't going for you right. Now all of a sudden your parent is wrong for the way that you was raised. But you was okay for a while. That's what I don't get. Y'all was okay for a while, but it's when life ain't going right. Now you want to reflect. You need somebody to pick on. Let me talk shit about my parent. And then you'll talk shit to a low-life, no-good, sorry-ass, trifling dog of a dude or a girl. And it's usually the girls is the one. That's just it. You'll meet a guy, and he'll tell you about, hey, what was me? I had a childhood like this. And the girl will be like, what, really? Yeah, my parent did this and my parent did that. And I'd be like, oh, wow. Yeah, that parent is effed up. I would never do you. Of course you're never going to do that person like that because you're not their parent. You is licking on their balls or licking between their kitty cat. So, of course, you're not going to do any of the things that the parent did. Of course not. That doesn't even make sense. And then the moment that you come across that parent, whether it be the mother or father, then y'all think that you could disrespect that mother or father. And then here's the messed up part. The boyfriend or girlfriend will let they sorry trifling, don't know how to clean their behind, comb their hair as partner, disrespect their parent too. Now that just, to me, just beats it all. And you really think that something good is going to come out of your life. Talking crap and disrespecting somebody that you don't even know. You have no no ties with. Oh my goodness, you people out there. You got all jacked up. Disrespectful ass young people. And you young people out there. Yeah, you young people out there. You're going to get older. Some of y'all might have some kids and might get lucky to keep that kid and raise that kid. You know, because not all of y'all is fit. Y'all can make one, you can carry one, and you can have it, but you ain't fit to raise it or keep it in your life. Just think. And then there's some of us who we can keep it, we can raise it, we can make it, and we still ain't shit. We still don't know no better. We all gotta grow. We all gotta keep on living until we just not living no more. But there's a lot of us that live, and we at least get to like in our 50s, and we also like, and we can reflect. Because not everybody is all caught up in the dope game. You know, a lot of us just make a lot of young people, not young people, but unlearned. You know, if you don't got no good examples and you don't got nobody over there talking to you, you're gonna end up being you half-ass a quarter raised. You're gonna half-ass a quarter raised child. And if you half-ass love and you half-ass raise a child, then they're gonna be out in the world all half-ass and fussed over, and it's only gonna take somebody just to give them some attention, and they're gonna try to find the good in somebody. They're going to let people get away with treating them in a way that they would never treat somebody. They would never even fathom to think. Wouldn't even fathom to think. Like people, people out there are desperate, especially when people know they done did something and they're wrong, and that they know they could get in trouble and get real desperate. So it's like, hell yeah, they gonna cover their ass. Because there's not a lot of people that'll be like, you know what, fuck, I did it. I was wrong. I did some shit I shouldn't have did. Yes. And then you would get a lot more respect. That's just it. You would actually get a lot more respect from somebody, from society, whomever. Especially when you was caught. When everybody knows you're caught, just want to see how you gonna act. Are you gonna try to act like no? Like, do you have any remorse? Because there is things where, a person could really be just sick. Whatever it is they sick off of, sick from pain, they're depressed, they're just down, they're on some kind of drugs. My mom was not even crack. Crack was like the end, crack, heroin. She was like one of the baller ones, she did powder. It's like where you gotta be like, yeah, hey, I'm not trying to high five the shit, because it doesn't make it all right, because from the moment that she could, she would, and she started and she didn't stop. Because fortunately, she was raised where she was really healthy, and she was able to have a child, but it's like a child that was still like, hey, we're all addicts. I remember one of my worst things that happened to me in my life is the last relationship I was in. The worst thing that could happen to me, but was the best that's not something to want to be proud of, to have the worst, one of the worst things happen, be the best, one of the best lessons to be learned. Because it's like, yeah, when they admitted to, like, you're an addict. Now, when people say addict, everybody instantly thinks like, oh, what kind of dope are you on? Where it's like, there's way more things out in the world to be addicted to than just drugs. And hey, and I feel for that. And actually, like, I sat in the courtroom and they clapped at the end. I have never even known for nothing like that to be a thing. They clapped at the end because I missed something. I'm like, I had thought that I was sitting there the whole time, but I'm like, I hadn't eaten. I had to go eat. I was so tired anyway. My mom is just, but anyway. But they clapped in the courtroom. But this was about a bunch of drug people. The last one was a marijuana person. A case was marijuana was the last and final drug that was off the map. And they had supposedly ate some cake, and they did not know that there was marijuana. To where the judge even said, "Now, I find that hard to believe." I get why the judge might say that, because you think there's a flavor, and usually there is something. There's only something where you'd be like, it's different. But that doesn't mean, hey, people getting trickier that they can extract. I'd have to try the cake myself. But anyway, but as far as like being an addict to food, there you go. But relationships so it's like, yes, the last worst, the best thing that ever happened to me the last involvement for me of a situation, and that's where I felt like it allowed me to understand that yes, you're right, I'm an addict too, and got a lot of addiction. When you sit back and look at it, if it's just not for feeling sorry for people, if it's just not for feeling sorry for people, just like for a moment, it's like I'm wanting to press charges against somebody that hurt me really bad especially because they tried to press charges against me. I was like, what the freak? And really, 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 they made up a whole freaking story. I got the freaking whole paperwork of all this crazy stuff that implicated other people, that where you could go to these other people and there'd be like no way that they put anything that that person had. That's where it's just like people are really out there, really, really will make some shit up and try to ruin a mother freaker's life. It's like I know I am so blessed, and that's where it's like to receive it is believe it. It's the things that you don't really, some people overlook when they'll be like, I wish I was blessed. Like, what kind of day are you going through? You're blessed right now. Just for you to complain, that's a blessing. Do you know how many people out there can't complain about something? And there's a complaint that could be had? It's like, oh my goodness. That's why I feel like, hey, I listen to a lot of stoic things. It's like, don't say what's your next move. And I'm like, right now I'm not talking about my next move. I'm talking about my life, things I've seen. I'm putting things together. I'm just saying, and it's nothing to where I was used to, like, I'm just venting about, because I know I'm going to say something that overall, besides me just feeding into somebody's head for them to think of what I'm thinking, that's really important. These are things now, however I see it. I said where it's like, I literally lived through someone making up a whole bunch of crap. And you know what? It fell behind. And here's the crazy thing, because I had said, I'm not going to be messing with you anymore. Hell no. They said, so you're not going to mess, so we're not going to do this, we're not going to do that. And I said, we're not going to do that. And I'll be damned. Because of that, changed my whole life for like, and that was just 3 months before she was in paperwork. I feel that some off-duty officer, possibly because of the scenario, that it didn't work out, said, let's leave that. I was not at that address. They came to looking for me because of just because it was their ego, their pride. They were somebody like, you don't leave me. Don't nobody leave me. I'm like, it was bad enough when I had let them get away with, like, talking and calling me a nasty name. Because that alone, and it wasn't like me, like, calling them one back or cussing at them and arguing about. I just like forgave them, feeling like, you've had a lot of people, hurt you, and I understand. I've been in scenarios too, and I didn't want to judge everybody. And then here comes me, who's like, I don't have no kind of ill will or negativity like that towards you, for you. We can just have fun. Like, let's just kick it. You grown, I'm grown. That's how I really, really was thinking. Like, we're grown here. We are grown. If you're grown, then it's like there should be no. I'm like, look, I'm really telling you, this is my availability. Other than that, I'm like, I'm in a private environment, so I can make sure I can wash my clothes. But I can talk to you. Sure, you can call me, shit, you can FaceTime me if you want, you know what I'm saying, but I just simply can't be. And it's like, I should have, the red flag, they say, the red flags be little things where you, like for me, not experiencing it. That was the main thing. I hadn't experienced anybody before ever being like insecure, because my insecurities didn't fall the way that they came towards me through someone else. But that was still a red flag, being like, I know that I'm not doing anything So I told you I was single. Heck, I'm about to like be laid up. I gotta get, my foot straightened back up. So I'm gonna break it with my toe broke, kind of thing. And that's where you learn about like, okay, we'll just have some fun in life. But instantly, and that's what I'm saying for that situation, well, no. It was like, yeah, before I even got to like being accused, it was like them doing little weird stuff that I was just like, just looking at it like, you're just being goofy just because. Knowing like the person probably really is a bit psycho. Because they let schizophrenic people like linger out in the world and do their thing. They'll let them. Oh, shit was that way. What time is it? Yeah, they'll let psychopath people seem like they got a little bit of sense, especially because I said that the psychopathic you are, where am I at right now? The more smarter they usually are, is my thing. They usually are really, really smart psychopathic people. And the ones who can walk around, because like you can't get mixed up mentally retarded, mentally ill with a psychopathic person. Because that's a total different breed of people. Because it's an instant physical. But anyway, so I want to get to something, because I'm like, I see this, and it's like when you see it happening to a friend, because I believe in, let me say this, okay? I do believe in a scenario, whether it's a male or a male and a female, a female and a female, that there's always a chance where somebody, y'all get in an altercation, it can accidentally like hit somebody. I can believe that. And then that's like give somebody, and that's still what I'm saying, when it then gives someone that has a big ego and they're very manipulative, that they would, yeah, and like cutting back and forth, but I'm just keep it going because it'll just go and flow. But it'll take that moment to be like, okay, it'll take that moment to be like, here you go. I did lose a little train of thought as I was going around here because it was like some crazy weather, some crazy ass roads, but like you get the hang of it, get comfortable, especially when you see like, hold on, you got little kids just driving, like they can drive. But yeah, so back to the fact that I would give a person now an initiative, especially when you just accidentally hit someone. But like I said, in this situation, this person, I'm driving and I got hit intentionally. Like, oh no, to where it was like for a moment, it's like, oh, I know that I'm not that serious in your life that you like, hey, we can all just die tonight now. Because I'm on the freeway driving, and it was cars on the freeway, and it was obvious it wasn't no late at night. And so that right there alone. Now what I do want to say is, and I'm weak too. I'm weak about life, meaning that they still, I want to say, to give the benefit of the doubt, they still cross my mind innocently, to where it's like, because I found them entertaining. And that's where it is, like here, it's like the warnings about in life, like how like things can happen. You understand that things can happen. Because it's like now, and that's where I feel for me, I'm an advocate for with a bitch, and that's male or female, because we all some form of a bitch, male or female. Just some, because that is not appropriate. And see, it all falls down to, that's what I'm saying. I was that person. I done been in situations where somebody, but here's the thing. Um, I'm not justifying what I'm about to say. Whether you talking down on someone, talking down to or towards someone, and cursing them out, sometimes there's some words where you'll be like, shit, I'd rather you just hit me than talk like that to me. But that's some stuff where it's like, if you letting somebody downgrade you and talk in a way that you feel like you don't like, that you're going to go complain, you would go and whine about, hey, they say this to me, they say that to me. Well, but you sticking around. So, see, for them doing it, they don't need to fuck with you because it's like you don't need to be fucking with somebody that you feel like you need to curse out like that. That's not right. And for the one who's receiving it, you don't need to be with somebody who thinks that they could talk to you like that and then justifying it. Now, it's like, not both of y'all is like on some narcissistic, egotistical shit that is sick, but it's really unhealthy. It's not going to get you guys anywhere. But in a really bad way, to where one day you're gonna come across the wrong one, the wrong one. It's not gonna be, 'cause I get it. Everybody will kind of target usually the type of individual they know that they can handle. And one day it's gonna be, it's not even gonna be a wolf in sheep's clothing. It's gonna be another sheep too, another victim that they've had enough. You're gonna come across one day in life that somebody's had enough, and it's not gonna go from there on. So it's like, yeah, how do we stop about where kids grow to be adults who have relationships where they are attached to each other because they can share so much trauma together that they can high five and like, yeah, that I know what that's like to be, and that where it's just like, oh, that's not cool. If anything, y'all can be hella cool friends, but you don't need to seek compassion and love from that because you with someone who doesn't have an example. You got fantasies and ideas of how you think it should be, but instead, when you're you need someone who's healed, who's been more of in a healing type of state, in a healing type of environment. Oh man, I sit here and I think about ah, doesn't matter. Forget what I'm thinking about. I'm gonna just tell y'all about, like I said, hurt, trauma, people. There's some that it's like they both hurt, but people might be hurt in two different types of ways. They might can relate to sources of circumstance, but they can't relate to circumstance and the exact, how would I put it, they can't really relate totally to circumstance and the exact exact. Oh man, what's the right word I'm looking for? Mm. Right is right and wrong is wrong. That's just how I feel about things. And people are human. It's kind of like how you step forward and you hear a whole a whole out scenario. It's like it don't matter about today, it don't matter about yesterday, but what happened that day, this particular moment. And that's what I'm saying, where it's like some people can really disguise their mental, as far how far their mental state will let them go. Some people can really, really disguise that. I'm like, I dealt with a situation like that, and I was the at the end I was the victim, although I was being portrayed as the bad one. I don't know what the word, the defendant, because it's like I'm the defendant now. I'm defending myself in the I'm playing shit in my head like it's a movie because it's like this has got to be a movie right now. This has got to be a mother freaking movie right now. See what you gotta see, because it's not always about you. Especially when it's like in the end, I always end up talking about me. And I believe there is rights because it happened to me. Well, I'm an advocate. Highly, you lie with the attempt to get someone arrested and convicted of any type of crime, but especially domestic abuse. That woman deserves to whatever that individual had to go through times three or four, whatever it is. Well, they for sure shouldn't, especially if there happens to be an arrest. Because these are important things. So you understand. These are these are really important things. That happened to me. I think too much of the I don't think too much of it until now, but at the time I'm like I just thought into one thing instantly. Had I been at the address they had on file at the time, you know, I'm glad that it started changing. They were like, hey, no more worried about if your address is different and you just gonna answer it. And you got a mailing address, you give them a mailing address. There you go. But like I said, it's like, that's important, male or female. Making a false claim that turns into a charge, that turns into an arrest, with a possible or could turn to eviction, all the more. It's like people do not deserve to get away with that. People do not deserve, um, people don't deserve to get away with um, yeah, people don't deserve to get away with making false allegations. even to have a um restraining order against you in your name is bad. That's when I found out that even having a restraining order could be held against you, I was a little like worried in the sense of like, hey, can that like could the judge be like, hey, so yeah, I'm gonna just put this in there. You know, is there any possibility, even though I know like it wasn't me, but what I did know is I coulda, woulda, shoulda said that about her. You know, and them damn crazy messages. But I didn't do that. And that's where I'm like, it comes into moments of where it is you're gonna let something go because you know that hey, something different higher can happen, and that's where it is. Like I didn't get in any trouble. I just had time and money, and I brought people into my business because I had to give some change for something strange to take care of some strange stuff, and that was like getting a bunch of copies of something. Oh my gosh, because I was for sure like, oh no, hold up, I did no way I could have did that, and then it was just so much that she fabricated. Mm. To where it's like you gotta be on something, or you need to be on some kind of medication, because it's like there's no way that this is for real. It's like a new case. Oh my gosh, it's like stuff can really really happen. Real life. It's like for some things, it's like where people gotta just think twice before they pick up and make that phone call, before they do something and act a fool. But like I said, it also comes back to once again, a lot of domestic altercations occur when um a lot of domestic altercations occur. Oh man, I'm sorry guys. For a moment, I just was like, a lot of domestic altercations occur in a household between two people that are in a physical relationship when um it could be like an argument that derives from something that happened like early in the relationship, depending on how long together. Um, someone felt like today I'm tired of you not picking up something from me, just whatever. I'm saying to be something like minor that can just turn into something deeper and deeper. Oh man, just like worries me. We can't go through a bunch of stuff that we know is not right. We can't go through a bunch of things we know are not right, that are not ethically, morally, and consciously right, and let people get away with it. Someone gets falsely accused. Let's say I could, especially let's say you doing something like this, and somebody's like, come on, let me go. Will you stop? And you're holding on, and then up, and then they hit you, and you're like, see, hold up, and you're like, oh my God. Now the girl wants the guy. Oh my God, you hit me. Oh no. Oh my gosh. That's just I knew you were gonna hit me. You said you would never hit me. That's it. You're going down for this, and you're like, what the heck? Will you stop acting crazy? What are you saying? You know I didn't hit you on purpose. Now you know I didn't hit you on purpose. And that shit can fucking happen. It makes sense to happen. But when you somebody that's just like, I'm mad now, and now I got proof. Now I got proof. And the guy or the girl, it's like, I had only, that was an accident. You was grabbing my arm, and when you let go, it sprang back. Those type of moments. But now the girl or the guy, but most of the time it's some girl that has been like always having a mouth, but was with somebody who was like, I'm not gonna hit you. I would just leave you before I hit you. But I'll argue and talk shit and make you wish I would just hit you and get it over with. And those type of people, yeah, and they can build up being dating somebody that will build up a grudge against them because that's just that their words can just get so nasty. But that's what I'm saying. You be with somebody and you letting them talk crap to you like that, and you still wanna. Then at some point you're gonna be humming all on their body parts at some point. Oh no, what the hell? You you're selling yourself short on so many ends, and that people know that because people that won't have respect for that somebody's letting them walk all over them. Just treat them however they please. They don't have respect for somebody like that. And then if you say, well, I talk shit to them, I talk shitty to them, and they don't, no, they're ignoring you because they're used to that. They're used to that bad kind of talk, and they know that it's sticks and stones. They get it. And especially once like they having sex with you later on that night, they're like, yeah, you was talking all that crap, and now what, kind of thing. You know. So it's like, no, you gotta care about yourself. You have to give a damn about yourself, cause it's easy to read, and society has a way, but somebody eventually is gonna take advantage of that, and you're more than likely gonna go deeper into not caring. And then one day you're gonna have enough. By the time you've had enough, you will more than likely be in a state of I'm taking that like pimples. I'm just breaking out. But I feel like I'm breaking more out because I'm not eating such bad stuff, and my body is so it's like trying to get out of me. The bad is like the good stuff is pushing out the bad. But yeah, like so I sit back now and I'm like I get it. From like the last worst best thing that ever happened to me mistake that I had a relation, the last one, she helped me like realize that a lot. To where it really made it to where I stood up to like someone that I had adored, like later on like met up with someone I adored for a long time, and to where it says every little thing that they did that I didn't like, I just was like let it be known. It's like, okay, if you don't, I can't be your friend because I'm like annoyed by it. I don't feel like hearing you keep talking about the same thing. Okay, then I guess then I'm not worthy to be your friend in your, vows. And I'm like, and that's okay, because that's how it goes sometimes. And now I got that, but I'm like, I really would have liked to have had a backbone, you know, when I was 27 years old, just to see like how things would have turned out differently, how my path have walked. Cause then I look like just at a whole a whole bunch of like for me relationships and or relationships that I was really once deep for just I just caused it caused people that I care a lot about and it's not going well. I found myself being destructive with myself. You know, my mind it was just like, okay, I'll give you a reason to hate me then, type of thing. It took me a long time to not have so much of a grudge. But there is times I wish that I would have filed a restraining order against that lady. Because she made up a bunch of lies about me and she wanted to put a restraining order on me. That, like I said, I see how much it would have stuck. I had evidence for mine to have stuck. Because she made up a whole bunch of lies that were obvious that could be easily proven is my point. That's why I'm like I could stand behind it, you know. And it really did. And I had a thing going, and I'm think I want to get it started again. I'm gonna start the live over again. Start it.